You don't understand what you're doing if then we don't let them see.
Right now, you're just someone who needed help.
Even when that person to be above you?
Especially then.
My name is Captain Cael Reed, and I was the kind of soldier nobody wanted anyone to know about. The Terran Defense Corps had me filed in a category that didn't officially exist, the ones they sent to do the jobs that required plausible deniability. I was stationed on Velthara Prime as a private security consultant to the Royal Commission, which was a diplomatic way of saying I was their hired muscle for situations the official military couldn't touch. The kind of situations involving the heir of 3 empires. I had been on Velthara for 8 months before I ever saw her. The heir moved through the palace corridors like something that had learned to walk upright but might remember how to fly. That's the only way I can describe Princess Lyra Veltharos, that mixture of absolute control and something else underneath it, something that moved with too much grace to be entirely mechanical. She was blue-skinned like all the Veltharan nobility, but the kind of blue that caught light and threw it back, luminescent like deep water. Her hair was gold. Literally. Not blonde, gold. The precious metal worked into braids that fell past her shoulders with small jewelry woven through them. She was 28 years old. She was the heir to 3 interstellar empires. And she terrified everyone around her, including me. Then came the night everything broke. I was doing rounds on the eastern platform of the palace, the kind of rounds that were actually surveillance, even though we were supposed to be guarding against external threats. Internal stability was always more complicated. The rain had come in sudden and vicious, the kind of weather that made the city lights bleed color across the wet stone. That's when I heard it. Not a sound so much as an absence of sound, the particular silence that follows a scream someone tried to swallow. I found her collapsed against the railing of an isolated observation deck, rain streaming down her gold armor, her face in her hands. The Heir of 3 Empires was crying. Not the composed, diplomatic tears of state ceremony. This was the kind of crying that breaks people open. Every protocol I'd ever been taught said to leave her alone. A security breach waiting to happen. A situation with no good outcome. The kind of moment where the smartest thing a soldier can do is pretend he saw nothing. I walked toward her anyway. "Your Highness," I said, keeping my voice level. "It's not safe to be out here alone." She looked up, and for a moment I saw the full weight of what she was carrying. Not the crown. Crowns are just metal. The weight of 3 empires' worth of expectation, compressed into one person, and she was cracking under the pressure of holding it together. "Go away," she said, and her voice was barely a whisper against the rain. "You're not supposed to see this. No one is supposed to see this." I didn't go. I sat down on the wet stone beside her, my leather jacket soaking through immediately. "What happened?" I asked. She laughed, a broken, bitter sound. "What happened?" "They happened. The Commission. The Council. My 3 families, all of them, arguing over my future like I'm a contract to be negotiated instead of a person. They want me to merge bloodlines with the Caerith dynasty. They want me to give up my position on the science board. They want me to stop asking questions about the war funding discrepancies. They want me to be quiet and ornamental and grateful for the power they claim to give me while systematically removing anything I actually control. She looked at her hands. And I realized tonight, in the formal dinner where they announced all of this to their advantage like I wasn't even in the room, I realized I don't know how to say no. I've never been allowed to learn. The heir doesn't get to refuse. The heir gets to comply, or the heir gets to be replaced. I listened. That was all I did. I sat in the rain with the Heir of 3 Empires and I listened while she told me things that could have gotten her killed if the Commission heard them. "They wouldn't replace you," I said finally. "No." She looked at me, and there was something almost defiant in her expression. "You don't think they have a backup heir somewhere? Someone more compliant? Someone willing to smile and sign documents and produce the genetic line they need. I think, I said carefully, that anyone who could do what you do, lead 3 empires, understand diplomatic complexity the way you do, ask the right questions about something as significant as war funding, anyone like that is irreplaceable. And I think the Commission knows that. Which is why they're so desperate to control you instead of letting you choose. She was quiet for a long moment. Then she said, "Do you know who I am? I know you're the heir. I know you're brilliant. I know right now you're in pain." "No," she said. "That's not what I mean. Do you know what my status classification is? In the official hierarchy?" I didn't answer. "I'm Class 9. Royal bloodline, first in succession. You know what that means in practical terms. It means everyone around me is either trying to use me or afraid of me. It means I can't have a conversation without it being strategy. It means I can't tell anyone the truth because the moment I look weak, there's a knife waiting in the dark." She paused. "You're not supposed to be here. A human soldier. Terran Defense Corps. Officially non-essential personnel. You could lose your posting just for being seen with me." "Then I won't be seen," I said. She turned to face me fully, and her blue eyes, deep as the sky on a planet that no longer had weather like this, searched my face like she was looking for deception. "Why would you risk that?" "Because," I said, "right now you need someone to just be a person. Not a soldier, not someone climbing the hierarchy. Just someone who sees you're hurting and chooses to stay anyway." She did something then that I didn't expect. She reached out, and her small blue hand, delicate despite the armor, fragile despite the royal bearing, gripped my jacket. She held on like she was drowning. "If they found out," she whispered. "They won't," I said. "I have a lot of experience not being noticed." She leaned against me, and I realized she was shaking. I wrapped my arms around her carefully, mindful of the sharp edges of her ceremonial armor, and held her while the rain fell on the neon-lit city below us. "Stay," she said against my shoulder. "Just for tonight. Just while it rains. Just before I have to go back to being the heir." "I'm not going anywhere," I told her. And I meant it. Because I realized in that moment, holding someone that powerful and finding her so completely fragile, that the hierarchy everyone believed in so fiercely was a fiction. There's only humans, some of them blue-skinned, some of them golden-haired, some of them wearing crowns, some of them wearing soldiers' insignia. But underneath all the classification, all the ranks and the status codes, we're all just trying to find someone who will stay. In the rain, with the city lights bleeding color around us, I understood that the most dangerous thing in the 3 empires wasn't the political machinations or the power struggles or the commission meetings. It was her realizing she didn't have to handle it alone. And me realizing I couldn't walk away now, even if I tried.